Alright guys, welcome back. So level 125 is now live on global, and the current situation is definitely not great. It's definitely very bad. Now, before we get to the video, I'm sure the devs will fix it in some ways and just give out more. I mean guys, whenever we get a level cap in any other gacha game, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you this, but it's always the hardest at the start as people are trying to get the whole team up. But as the game goes on, it definitely gets a lot more easier and more bearable to deal with, right? However, the way they've gone about doing this is one, much better than JP and KR, which is crazy to think about, but also as well very bad, which we'll get towards that in a second. But if you don't know the way JP and KR work when it comes towards transcending the actual characters, it's a lot different because we have this new material called the Pendant of Transcendence, which is what you get by playing the game, farming events, and just generally, playing the game, right? Where when it comes towards how JP and KR do it, is they don't actually have this pendant. The only way they can do it is by using universal dupes or also dupes of any other character in the game. So we head towards the shop, or just my inventory basically. You can see how many of these actual mage pieces I do have. In total of the actual SSR pieces, right, I have 25, and I believe it costs 1 per level on obviously JP and KR. So that basically means I only have enough to take 5 characters to level 125. However, if I wanted to do more, I would have to spend money on summoning and of course hoping to get lucky to where I can get actual SSR characters, which is once again not a great system on JP. So yeah, I will say the way the global team has handled it is a lot better, but the problem comes with how you can acquire them right now on global. So you have a few ways of doing it. I believe they gave like 20 out when you first logged in, but also as well you can get them by farming events. You can see right, you get a bunch here. So they're giving you a few ways to actually get some, and the other way of buying them is by going to your general shop and going towards the general tab and buying one of them for 800 crystals, which is outrageous, especially when you go to the fact that in order to take a character from level 100 to 105, it does cost 1. As you can see, if I go from Asta, it costs 1. But then when you go to 105, it then costs 2. And then when you go from 110, it then costs like 5, and then 10, and then 15. So it takes a lot. I don't know the actual numbers, but it does take more than 20, or maybe it even takes 20 to max that character. So you're telling me if I want to buy 12 right now, which isn't even enough to take one character to level 125, it's going to cost me 9,000 crystals? Way too high. I think I saw Geeky, and bear in mind guys, the devs had heard our feedback. We are in a partner program, and a few of the fellow content creators have already given their feedback saying this definitely needs to change. I think Geeky's already started a little bit of a movement, but yeah, this is way too much. It needs to be like 200, 300 if I want to buy them. But hey, thankfully there's a free-to-play system, and that is through every single stage in the game. No matter what you do, you are able to farm these actual pendants. Anything in the game that you do now, or I think mostly everything in this game that you do now, you have a chance of getting them. But once again, my biggest problem with this game, and it's always been with this game, at least when it comes towards drop rates, is they never say what the drop rate is. Because, I mean, you see that, you're thinking, oh, it's 1 in 4 basically, or like, there's a good chance you can get it. Well, yesterday and even right now, it's half stamina, where I said, you know what, I'm not even going to upload. I'm going to keep my phone on all day, all night farming, to where I basically farmed over 1.5k stages of doing gear and also EXP dungeon. And how many, after doing 1,500 stages, how many of these pendants did I get? I got one actual pendant to drop. Now bear in mind, I never saw this pendant drop because I was autoing. I going really fast. It might have blended in with all the LRs. Maybe it came at the bottom of the actual drop rate, so I never actually saw it. But I do know when I started farming, I had 5. I just spent 1 to take Vanessa to level 105, so I'm now gone down from 6 to 5. So when I started at 5, I somehow got 1. I actually don't know if that was through an event or some sort of challenge that gave me 1 for free. So in actuality, I may have farmed 1.5k stages and I might have not even gotten 1. So yeah, that is by far the worst thing, because I do like the idea that you can farm them, because one, it gives you more reasons to start playing the game again, gives you more reason to actually farm. Because if you look at my actual EX or my inventory a little bit, I'm sure it's the same for you lot as well, but I have I'm sure all of us have it, right? I used a bunch already, but we have a lot of stamina saved up, so I do like the fact that they're making me spend stamina again. And you know what, honestly, yesterday it was a bit nostalgic, leaving my phone on all day, checking it back at like 20 minutes to see if I'm still autoing, and it was kind of nostalgic a little bit to farm the game again. So I do like the aspect of that fact that we have to grind to give it a bit more to get the pendants, especially if you are free to play. But, well, when the drop rate is that low, is there even a point? Because I got 1 in, let's say, 1,000. Like, imagine how much I'd have to farm if I wanted to get 15 in order, or 20 in order to get a character from level 1 to level 125. It's way too much. So, yeah, the current situation is definitely bad. And I would say I do understand the devs' perspective, because I think the way they want to go about doing this is they don't want to make you transcend your characters just as far, so it's not a massive power creep a little bit onto the free-to-plays or even paid-plays a little bit. But when you can, I mean, to be fair, even buying the ones in the shop, you still don't have enough to, I think, max out your whole team. But when you can miss out 30 because you can't afford to buy, which is not even worth buying, even if you're away or even a little bit. But yeah, very, very bad. I think the devs definitely to fix up here and just increase the drop rate, because I think other than that, I think this is almost a perfect system. In a way, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about saying this, but I do like the fact that they give out a bunch of free events. So now, is every event going forward, they're going to slowly give out more rewards. They're going to be a bit more rewarding, so there's more hype around it a little bit. But if you were able to farm some to where, hey, all that stamina I've been saving up for months now has gotten some use out of it. Let's say I do 150 runs, right? I do my 3 times 50, basically, and I get like 3 or... If I get 4 or 5, I'll be chuffed about it, because, hey, that'll be a pretty good drop rate. And I do that constantly every single day to where maybe after a few days or so, I have enough to max out a character. That'll be sick. But the current situation we are living in right now is the fact that I've done 1,500 and I've only gotten 1. If that 1 I did get was through the drop rate, I'm not entirely too sure. So that is the current situation of level 125. Like I said, I'm sure it's going to get better later on. And I do think next month will get a lot better, because right now we still have like our current season pass, which doesn't give any at all. So I like to think in the future, if you are buying the battle pass, or even maybe in the free track a little bit, you might be able to get 1 from there. I do know that our actual shop, in terms of actual, you know, the skill page salvages has been sorely lacking, as we never on Global got to get the universal dupe or also universal skill page like how JP has it. But if they wanted to, what they could do is put some in the shop, so you can spend some each month. That would be also for good as well. Maybe even this shop as well. So I do imagine later on we're gonna probably get more ways, and even in arena, whatever way you want to do it, just add more ways to buy it, rather than the only 2 ways right now, or 3 ways, is 1 through this terrible shop right here, 2 through the drop rate, which is almost non-existent, and then 3, which are a pretty good amount but limited, is through the events. Yeah, if you go over towards the Discord, I'm sure you've seen Geeker's post about it, but you look at like the up rate and up votes for the actual, like, you know, problems is both level 125. So they brought back the half stamina, which they're doing right now, and is obviously being very good. And this guy makes a good point. As the title suggests, level 125 Transcend update, which has mostly been a 10 out of 10 update. The cost decreasing for gold and potions have been very good, but you need to significantly increase the drop rate for transcendent material, because like I said, he said it should not take 6,000 stamina to get 1 ball out of 15. So it does cost 15 to max up 1 character, which, I mean, if you look at my runs, I think I did like just below 10,000 to get 1. So I think it is like 1 in like 8k stamina to get like a pendant, which is terrible, like when you need 15. So yeah, once again, go towards this here and upvote it. I'm going to do that right now. And yeah, once again, I'm sure they'll fix it, because constantly throughout the game of Black Clover Mobile and Global, they've constantly listened to our feedback. Once again, going as far back as the farming event for the summer resources back when the game first launched. So I'm sure they'll fix it. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.